I've been a psychiatrist for 25 years. I prescribe all kinds of medicine. I prescribe antidepressants. I prescribe sleep meds, anxiety meds. I also prescribe music. I put it on my prescription pad and I give it to people and I say, this will work. I know it will work because we are interconnected. We respond to music. It will release endorphins and oxytocin and serotonin. And it has very little side effects, if any side effects, and it's free. I tell them you can take this prescription to your internal pharmacy, your incredible brain and nervous system. And if you are human, this will be an effective tool for you in your life. So we're so grateful to the Glenn Gould Foundation for this week, the world's first Congress on the social impact of music, and really feel as a psychiatrist, as a mother of three teenagers, as someone who works a lot with young people, I feel that we need to get these prescriptions out and pass them around as much as we can, because of course we do have a mental health crisis in the world that we live in. We're seeing rising rates of anxiety, depression, addiction, and we're also seeing reductions in creativity as we are more on screens. So music is an anecdote to all of that, but let's not give it all away. Welcome. Like I said, today is World Mental Health Day, and I think that's an incredible moment to think that we're at this place where we are looking at ancient traditions. We're looking at music as one. I'm also a researcher in plant-based medicine. I'm doing some studies right now in the psychedelic space, psilocybin, DMT. As we get further along in our human history, what we're finding and what science is finding is those intuitive practices that we know felt good, that were passed on, have far more power than we think. All right, who agrees with this slide? A little show of hands here. Anyone think we're in a bit of trouble when we look at our lifestyles right now? What I love about this slide is it really shows we're at a mismatch between our human biology and our lifestyle that we're in. We're not meant to be sitting crouched over on screens all day with a blue light impacting our eyes and retina and the cascade effect that happens with melatonin. We're not meant to even be sitting. So if you look at the middle character here, the hunter-gatherer, we've only been sitting indoors. Actually, we've only been writing. We've only been sitting indoors for maybe 100 years, 150 years. Writing, maybe 5,000 years old in human history. But music came even before the print, before written language. And in fact, there's a wonderful book called The Singing Neanderthal, which talks about human brain development in tandem with musical development. And our ancestors used to sing. There would be songs about how to get to the well of water, and if that well was dry, where to go to the other well. And Daniel Levitin in his book really outlines that. So I encourage you all. He's a Canadian researcher out of McGill. So music has been with us. We have evolved with music. And like I said, it's really about getting back to who we are as humans. I said, I am a psychiatrist. I am going to give you prescriptions. Your first prescription is to get back to being human. And really, that's what I mean. It is about understanding our physiology, what is natural to us, and getting back to all of those natural antidepressants, walking in nature, in groups, exploring our environment, being social, music, the plants and earth around us. So there's your first prescription. Like I said, no side effects, free. Take it to your internal pharmacy. So what we're going to do today is just walk you through music. Like I said, we're going to understand that it is part of our human biology. I'm going to show you that the science that I love to tell people, that we don't just have one brain, we have three brains, and how music activates each one of those centers of intelligence. and how we can use it intentionally to heal ourselves. I did use music intentionally to heal myself. So I'm going to give you the science behind it, but also my personal story. So right there is an x-ray of my body. And if you look closely, you might be able to see these electrodes here. There's one right there at the edge of the spine. And last year I went to Denver with the brilliant Dr. Giancarlo Barilat. He's a world-famous neurosurgeon, and he implanted what's called a neuromodulator into my body. I have 5 electrodes. I call it my orchestra. There's 3 down my spine, 1 my left shoulder, and 1 in my left hip, and I have a battery here in my right hip. And I modulate these electrodes, their frequency, their amplitude, based on pain. Prior to this, I had 10 to 12 years of severe chronic pain, in and out of hospital, had tried every treatment. I felt the universe was really giving me something that was so challenging. I'm like, it didn't give me a mental health issue because I'm a psychiatrist. I probably could have figured that out, but it was a physical health issue, a vague condition, a genetic disorder. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I'm hypermobile, and it hit me hard after my 3rd child, and it floored me. And all of the painkillers, and I was on opioids and ketamine, only did so much. And I realized that the one thing that was consistent, and thankfully I had the science and I believed in it and I knew it from my life experience, was music. And so I turned to music very intentionally, very deeply, lying on heating pads, listening to songs from my childhood. The beautiful song you heard, Walking In, is called Japji. It's a prayer. It's a Sikh prayer that would play in my home every morning. And it brought me comfort from a psychological level, but also I know released endorphins and helped my pain. And I truthfully believe that without music, I wouldn't be able to give this talk today. I wouldn't have made it past those 12 years of severe pain. So music really brought so much to me from a healing perspective, but of course, joy. There we go. Sorry, I got my clicker here. And when we really think about it, the best way to align our personal, when we think about a medium or a practice that aligns our spiritual belief system, our personal belief system, our neurochemistry, our neurobiology, is music. Music is one thing that can really bring it all together. So ask yourself, when you think of music, what word comes to you? And if anyone wants to shout it out, feel free to. Is there a word that you think? Those are beautiful words. Those are healing words. And when we think about that, let's really understand where that experience comes from. So the very first sound we ever heard in our human life is our mother's heartbeat. So if we think about that, the very first sound we hear is our mother's heartbeat, the rhythm, the drum, and we hear it through amniotic fluid. And it actually informs the fetal nervous system development. And when you think about across cultures around the world, the beat of the drum, and I'm not a musician, I wish I was, the beat of the drum is a universal beat. And I believe that it appeals to all of us universally, all humans, all walks of life, no matter who we are, where we come from. Because this is how our nervous system evolved in the beat of the drum. When you look across musical traditions, we see all kinds of healing traditions, and we're just going to talk about a few today. I'm not going to go through each one, and they're endless. They're really, really endless. This was a bit of my list here that I wrote. My mother's heartbeat. The minute I was born, she recited a prayer, so I know that it connected with me. I mentioned the prayers. The 80s music was fantastic, and it's still brings back memories. There's a neuroscience concept that neurons that fire together wire together. So when you really think about that, when we wire and fire memories, joy, connection, friendships with certain songs, when we hear those 20, 30 years later, it activates those same neurons, those same pathways. So neurons that fire together, wire together, really important concept. And when you think of those songs, it will reactivate. In fact, we know that music activates every single part of the human brain. The human brain is the most complex thing in the known universe. 3 to 4 pounds of mass is extremely complex. It's also the most unknown thing in the whole universe. We know a lot about it, but there's still so much we don't know, and music has that ability to unlock. So I had a Slido here, which was interactive polling, but this was the question I wanted to pose. Which aspect of music do you think has the greatest healing potential? And when we look at, there's physical health potential, mental health, cognitive health, in terms of memory and cognition, social health, and the list goes on. As you listen, ask yourself this question, which area maybe doesn't it have potential in? And the way that I'd like to present it to you is that music activates our entire human intuition system. So you may have heard we have a brain, of course, but we don't just have one center of intelligence. We have 3 main centers. So we have a brain in our head, a brain in our heart, and a brain in our gut. And right now, these brains are under considerable stress. Stress is the #1 health epidemic. I worked at the World Health in Geneva, Switzerland years ago in 1996. I was part of that initial research. And part of the reason why stress is the #1 health epidemic is we've lost connection to our human intuition system, our 3 brains. So I'm just going to walk you through what I mean by this and how music can help each one. So we have a brain in our gut. This is our primal brain. This is sensitive to emotions of fear, insecurity, and our gut brain isn't really doing so well because we are so busy. We've made busy a symbol of importance. Self-care is something that we all work for and try hard. But like I said, disease is on the rise with rising rates of chronic lifestyle-related disease. When we get back to self-care or downtime, honoring that gut brain, now we can have a sense of wellness and calm. And the person who talked about the one word, they said calm when they thought of music. So music can activate this gut brain. It can release that sense of calm. We know it can release endorphins. So the problem is in red. There's 3 global trends. There's 3 solutions in yellow, and there's 3 outcomes in green. And I like to tell people this is a roadmap that I give when we really think of where we're at in this moment in time. Second major global trend is disconnection. Loneliness is the next major health epidemic. It is cited as the major health epidemic of the 22nd century. We have forgotten that we have a brain in our heart. Our heart brain has neurons that are sensitive to our social connection, to our feeling of community and togetherness. And when we honor that, we are better able to collaborate and connect. And again, music is an anecdote. It provides a solution to that. Hopefully, we won't get so much debate around music. It's one of those things that, we can understand as a common human thread. And the third global trend right now is disruption. Change is everywhere. There is no manual for things like the pandemic, for climate change, whatever it might be. And the solution here is play and exploration. When you think back to that hunter-gatherer, we played, we explored our environment. And when we do that, we get a sense of creativity. So to me, this is kind of my my understanding of our current moment from a neuroscience perspective. There's 3 global trends: disease, disconnection, disruption. There are 3 innate daily practices that we can do, which is downtime, self-care, connection, and play and exploration. These come naturally to us, leading to what I call the 3 future-ready skills of understanding how to stay calm, collaborative, and creative.